Somebody else on the podcast. They do a great job. So
Hey, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Oh, great. It's getting up there in the weather now, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, by Wednesday, 105. So we're into the full thick of it for the next 6 months.
It's 82 here today. I'm waiting till this evening to put in my flower for my raised beds, not flower beds, but raised beds, and do some yard work. So, but
yep, I get it.
ground out.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so we have a guest today. They are going to be so awesome. I've been waiting for them for a long time. Them are very, I just love everything they do. I really do. So I'm kind of starstruck in a way. But, it is what it is. I get starstruck a lot on the podcast.
I know, I do too.
I know you think we know, but because 200 episodes is coming up next month. So you think in August. So you think we will have this lick, but we don't. So, but
I'm just in awe of all of our guests and what they've accomplished. I mean, especially them. I mean, yeah. I read this and I go, holy cow, what a great bio. It's incredible.
I know, right? So about them.
Yes.
Go ahead and introduce them for us.
Well, we have Thorn Coyle is a neo-pagan author and teacher, dancer, singer, composer, and activist from the United States, wearing many hats. They practiced within the fairy and reclaiming traditions of witchcraft before developing their own approach, integrating other spiritual practices. They believe that magic is real, justice is worth fighting for, and love always wins. I love that.
Me too.
Thorn Coyle worked in many strange and diverse occupations before settling in to write full time. Buy them a cup of coffee or tea, and perhaps they'll tell you about it. Author of the Seashell Cove Paranormal Mystery Series, the Steel Clan Saga, The Witches of Portland, the Panther Chronicles, and the Reimer Chronicles. Thorn's multiple nonfiction books include Sigil Magic for writers, artists, and other creatives, and Evolutionary Witchcraft. Thorn's work also appears in many anthologies, magazines, and collections. And an interloper to the Pacific Northwest, U.S., Thorn pays proper tribute to all the neighborhood cats and talks to crows, squirrels, and trees. Such awesome.
Well, let's bring her on.
Absolutely. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
How are you?
Good to be here. I am really well. It's beautiful here in Portland, Oregon. I'm happy to be here talking about magic, one of my favorite things.
Oh, I know. Me too. Mine too. I have to get this out before I'm like gets too excited. So I'm already up. You have been, um, well, what can I say? When I grow up, I want to be like you. So that's that.
Aw. Thank
So
you.
you have done so much. I
Yeah.
really admire you.
Awesome.
And when you first said yes, I was like, oh my God, no,
She did.
they didn't. They didn't. And it's like, yes, they did. And it's like, oh my God. So yeah, I was probably had my head in the clouds for a day.
That's very sweet. Thank you.
So, but let's get the party started here. Now, your books are just absolutely amazing. Okay. I think the first book I read was, oh God, it's been years ago. Kissing the
Limitless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I show my daughter that and give it to her and everything. And then she was just stuck on like, oh, I gotta read more. I gotta read more from her, you know, and you know, and she did, and she just, I love them. I love them so much, Mom. And when I was doing Pagan Pride in Iowa and in Colorado, and she goes, you have to get them to come to Pagan Pride. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a list so long, and I did for 11 years. But if I was still doing it, most definitely. So, but you have been really, really busy.
Yeah.
Do you even have time to sleep?
I do. I do sleep. I do.
Oh man.
That time frame between 2 and 3 in the morning. That's it, right?
the witching hour.
The witching hour, exactly. See,
of course, our favorite time. So,
Exactly.
what actually first drew you to the path of magic and your spiritual practice?
Well, so it's kind of funny. When I was raised Catholic, and I was very, very spiritual and religious both. Like I had a strong mystical experience at age 7 where I was surrounded by light, and it was palpable, and that stayed with me. And I always feel like that light protected me through my childhood. My childhood was very fraught and violent, and not a great family situation. It was difficult. And that light carried me all the way through, for which I'm grateful. And then when I was 13, a couple friends of mine found some old witchcraft book where, you were supposed to like whitewash the temple floor and paint the 13-foot pentagram on it and do all this stuff. And we would stand in the star position, but then I got a little scared because I was still a Catholic. But by age 16, I could no longer say the creed, the profession of faith. Right. Like it literally I could not shove those words past my lips. And I discovered 2 things around that same time. When I was 16 years old, I discovered animism. And I was like, that's what I am. I've always been an animist. Like, of course the world is alive and sacred, and everything has a consciousness that I connect to, right? That just made a deep body sense to me. Mm-hmm. And then someone gifted me Starhawk's The Spiral Dance. Mm-hmm. So it was a confluence of events at age 16 that set me on the path of magic. My earlier spiritual experiences, I think, set me up for that. Mm-hmm. But then I started studying intensively. And also during this time, the New Age scene was really popular. And so I was also studying, psychic skills and different things like that. And then I started studying the fairy tradition, the Anderson fairy tradition, around 18 or 19. Took a break from that because I broke with that teacher who's now dead. Started with the reclaiming tradition, which at the time was the Reclaiming Collective. It wasn't even a magical tradition yet. It was a small, a small feminist anarchist group of witches doing public rituals and political action. So I did that for a long time. Then I returned to fairy because, of course, reclaiming has roots in fairy tradition.
Mhm.
Also, Starhawk studied with Victor Anderson for a while. I ended up studying directly with Victor Anderson and Cora Anderson, and went deeper into the fairy tradition, along with studying other esoteric paths. I've always been a spiritual seeker, so I studied Sufism and mystical Judaism and the Gurdjieff work, who was a mystical philosopher. So I've drawn from many, many threads to form this strange magical tapestry that now holds my whole life.
I love it. That's incredible. I love that, because we've had other guests on that have done the same thing, where they literally have grabbed from other, other rituals, other traditions, and put them together and then claimed it as their own. And it's incredible. I love that thought, that whole thought process, and how it works for everyone too.
And it's interesting because, what helped me see the threads and the sparks in other traditions, I partially came to that because I was able to go so deeply into my root core tradition, which is Anderson fairy tradition, right? So it was that deep, deep grounding that enabled me to go, oh, there are similar things in these other traditions, and I can expand my knowledge and deepen my practice by studying those things as well. And I say that because one problem I think some people encounter is they don't go deep at all. They stay on the surface with a lot of different things. And I think it ends up being less spiritually stable, and for me, less spiritually satisfying, right? Whereas my deep study of the craft, then those other things informed my craft, right? Does that make sense?
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
It does. It does really make sense. With the Stars of Power, now that is the newest book.
Yeah.
It came out in May last month.
Yeah.
Now, in the book, you said about the tools in the book that you hope it help others. Okay. For those who probably hasn't read it yet, because since it is still new, can you explain further about those tools and how you hope they will help others?
Yeah, so Stars of Power is my exploration of the pentacles. And so I dive into the elemental pentacle, which, having studied the craft now for 40 years, over 40 years, almost 45 years, it was great to revisit them and say, what is my relationship to air, fire, water, earth, spirit now that I've lived my life as a magical practitioner all these years? And I was like, oh, and how do they operate in our communities? Like how can we use the tools of air to help our communities and to help our communication? And how do we build from the powers of earth, right? So that was fascinating for me. So I set up the elemental pentacle that we can explore that for ourselves in our own lives, but I also bring it out into our groups, right? How do we deal with it at work? How do we deal with it in our covens or temples? How do we deal with it with larger communities? And how do we see it reflected in society, right? When things are out of balance.
Right.
So I delve into that, and then I go into two pentacles that come directly from Victor Anderson, the Iron Pentacle and the Pearl Pentacle. And those are really transformative, both on an individual and collective level. I often say iron is a tool for revolution and pearl is a tool for evolution, right? So the Iron Pentacle, we start with sex, which is life force, creativity, as well as pleasure and all those other associations we have with sex. And sex moves into pride. So it goes sex, pride, self-power, and passion. And then that cycles back up to sex, right? So we can look at that and say, what is out of balance in my life and what feels in balance, right? What's my relationship to power? What's my relationship to passion? How is that manifesting in my life? And then how is that working in my community? And where are things moving backwards and getting twisted in on themselves, right? Yeah. And where does the power of self become either deprecation or self-aggrandizement? You know, those sorts of things, right? When does my passion tip into obsession or depression? And I'm not talking about clinical psychological depression. I'm talking about, you know, the kind that, so I find that tool has been one of my most transformative personal tools. It really changed my life. The first time I ever studied it, I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, I want everyone to do this work. And then that reflects up. Victor talked about the iron and pearl as being the same notes played one octave apart. So iron is reflected in the pearl, which is love, law, knowledge, liberty, and wisdom. Right. And so we can see, yes, we have those qualities in ourself, right? For example, wisdom comes from engaging deeply in our passions, right? Wisdom does not just come through time. Wisdom comes with committed engagement, right? Through passion. So we see that in ourselves, but then clearly we see love, law, knowledge, liberty, and wisdom reflected in our communities and in what I call the overculture, right? And we see the ways in which they're twisted. So it gives me a template through which to examine and relate to the world, as well as to do that work on myself and in our communities. And then there's one more, which is a pentacle I developed. I now call it the Pentacle of Autonomy. It started off as the Warrior's Pentacle, and I still call it that often. But it really is about becoming a full autonomous human being, right? So in the craft, and in a lot of magical systems, we talk a lot about will and will development, right? And will takes presence, it takes commitment, and it takes a willingness, literal willingness to act, right? I say will is our intention in action. And the Pentacle of Autonomy then harnesses our will, right? So those points are commitment. We start with commitment, even if it's a tiny commitment. Commitment then flows into honor. And honor for me is all about integrity. You know, how integrated am I, literally? And then am I living honorably? Am I living with integrity? Am I honoring my commitment? Right? So commitment, honor, truth. So not only am I living truth, speaking truth, but I love the definition of the word truth that comes from true, which is aligned. Right? Are my bicycle forks true? Is the sword true? Right? We don't use that word that often in that way anymore, but I love to hearken back to that, of truth as in alignment, right? And then so commitment, honor, truth, that flows into strength. And then strength flows into compassion, right? And so we can also see the echoes of compassion from passion through wisdom to compassion, right? And so compassion then transforms my relationship to my commitment. And that transforms my whole life, including what are my commitments to you? What are my commitments to my coven or my temple or my grove? What are my commitments to my family? What are my commitments to work? What are my commitments to the environment, to social justice, right? And how am I honoring those commitments, and how is my community honoring it? And I've used this, I'm kind of blathering on.
No, this is so educational. I love this.
Great. So I've used this tool to teach pagan leadership before, because if you think about it, in people in positions of leadership, you know, including co-leadership and sharing power, right? If we can share power in such a way that we're honoring that initial commitment, it's going to be cleaner, stronger, truer, and more compassionate, right? So too often we get out of balance in leadership. Either we take on too much, or we hoard power, we're not sharing power well, or we drop the ball, we stop honoring the commitments we said we would do. We kind of ghost
Yeah.
our commitments, we ghost our communities,
Right.
right? Rather than saying, okay, from a place of honor, I've worked on this festival now for 5 years, and honorably, I need to release it.
Right.
Yes.
What can I do to train some other people better so that in the next year I can step back, right? That is honoring my commitment as I am releasing my commitment, instead of just, you know, so-and-so is not answering the emails and not showing up for the planning meetings, and gosh, should we just basically fire them?
Right.
Right. That's dishonorable. Right. And it also undermines community strength.
Right.
It undermines community alignment.
Yes.
Right. So all of these pentacles can work internally and externally.
I love it.
Which is the reason I love them as tools, because it's not just about me. It's about me with whomever I'm co-creating with, right? Because we're always co-creating with the cosmos, and that includes other human beings.
You're right.
Wow.
It's such a, I love it. It's such a, it's almost a simplified version of what we should know and do, but yet we just need to be reminded of it continually.
Yeah.
You know, we all need help.
Yeah, correct.
We all need tools. I mean, I was saying this morning, I have a regular Tuesday writers date where we write together. And I said, you know, if it's not on my calendar with an alert, it doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. Right. That's just another tool to help me honor my commitments.
Right.
You know,
exactly. Yeah. I love it. That's, and they're all tied together. All three of them are all tied together and offset each other and promote the other. It's just an incredible concept. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. That, like, the light bulb just went poof in my mind on that.
And from the basic foundation of the elements.
Right. Exactly.
Which we all learned when we first started studying magic, or the craft, or druidry, or ceremonial magic, right? There's, even if the elemental associations shift, there's still that foundation.
Right. That you build upon and continue to build. Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. Thank you.
I do too. So to the audience is Stars of Power, Book of Pentacles.
Yep.
Make sure you get your copy. Mine's on its way. I can't wait. So I'm going to put Do Not Disturb until I finish it. It'd be like a I can't even say it now. Help me out here. Evolutionary Witchcraft.
Oh yeah, evolutionary.
Yes,
evolutionary witchcraft.
Yeah, it was like you get the book and you just lock yourself in your bedroom or something, or by a tree outside, and you just read cover to cover. And then you like, that's it. I want more. But anyway, sis, I will hand it over to you now.
The Winding Road, which is a part of the 3-book series. How is that coming on?
So The Winding Road is out. Book 1. I'm now finishing up book 2, The Fernie Bray, and the Thomas the Rhymer Chronicles. The Rhymer Chronicles. It's a series based on the old Scottish ballad Thomas the Rhymer, where a poet gets dragged into Faerie and lives there and emerges with the gift of truth and prophecy, which I always thought a tongue that tells no lies is a terrible curse for a poet.
Exactly. No kidding.
But when he emerges, it's been decades. I think for him, it was hundreds of years, and all of his friends and family are gone. And I thought, what would it be like to rebuild your life after that?
Yeah.
So the Rhymer Chronicles is set in contemporary times, and Tom, the Rhymer, went underhill into Elfland in like the late 1980s, reemerged decades later and the world was a different place. So it's set in contemporary times.
Love it. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I got to read
So
that one
the
now.
Queen of Elfland is in it, and in the Fernie Bray, the Queen of Air and Darkness comes in. She was kind of a more shadowy background figure in book one. So the Fernie Bray actually launches on Kickstarter in July. So if people follow me on Kickstarter, you'll get alerts for my upcoming projects.
Nice.
And that's where I try to launch all my books on Kickstarter, so people can get them in advance before they hit retail. Nice. And I always have special, goodies and stuff, which is fun.
Oh, cool. I love that. Oh my gosh.
But I'm loving writing these books. I love these characters a lot. And it's set in there's a little mountain college town where the Shakespeare Festival is in Oregon called Ashland. So it's set in fake Ashland called Ash Grove.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I do a little dabbling of writing too. So I know and love how characters become, alive, basically. Yes. And yeah. I adore that, with authors, and love talking to authors about that and how they develop their characters and how their personalities change and things like that. It's incredible.
Yeah. I love to I don't outline. I love to let my subconscious drive the bus. So I really get into a magical flow with it. Mm-hmm. So what kind of fiction do you write?
Actually what I work on is more like a medium who solves crimes based on her spirit guides informing her, and it has a little bit of a twist of interior design in it because that's kind of my day job. So
nice.
It's, how does she get into these situations? It's always because she's designing a house, and all of a sudden something happens, and so she's got to go into the mediumship role and help solve the particular crime. So
that is totally my jam. I love that.
Yeah, it has a little music flair in there a little bit too once in a while, and so it's really kind of cool. I've only written one book and I haven't had it published yet, but I have a girlfriend who is going to read it, and she's a published author, so she'll go ahead and do the editing. She offered to do the editing for me on it, so
great.
I just need to give it to her.
It takes a while. I know.
Yeah, you do. You're an author too, so you know.
We just did our first book, and we trusted the wrong publisher, and now we had to redo it again, and now it's like, okay, it's a second book that we have, because ours is like since we have a coven for over 30 some years now, it's our coven lessons that we have had, some that we have revised into our own way of doing things, our practice. And so I'm just kind of put it on hold for the second book there, since the first book is getting out there now. But I'm working on the one for community coven, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
And I kind of stopped for a little bit because I'm like, am I going to really go into a lot of details where some of the community might hate me or might love me? It just really depends, because I think, as you know, some of the community can be harsh, fake, and not true to their spiritual beliefs, as well as some covens as well. And I'm just going to kind of tell the truth out there. I've been through pagan events, because I did pagan events for 27 years, had a coven for 3 years, now doing the podcast. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. See if I don't get stick and stones thrown at me for it.
It's not always easy to tell the truth, but sometimes those truths are the things that are most helpful to the community.
Yeah, it is.
Right. And people then know, I'm not alone in thinking that this wasn't right, this sort of behavior, right? Because there are whole classes of behaviors that we encounter year after year from all different sorts of people and all different groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I often will say, I'm not talking about one person here.
Right. Talking about multiple.
I encourage you, and just know that you have friends who will back you up, right?
Exactly. You're
Oh,
muted.
you're muted.
There you go.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. My grandkids was fighting, so I just like no. So, but yeah, it's been in the making for probably too long, actually, probably 10 years, and I think it was just like I like to be the person because I'm a Scorpio, and I like to have everybody to like me and not hate me. If you hate me, I'm like, why do you hate me? What can I change? But after being retired for about 5 years now from pagan events and everything, I was like, I really don't care what anybody thinks of me now. I'm just going to go ahead and say, because it's awesome to be in the pagan community, and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
It's just as well as a coven.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, we have a coven still, and it's going on over 30, almost 35 years.
Wow.
So we're doing
That's
something
impressive.
Right. And it's the first coven, so we're doing something right. I don't know what we're doing because we never ever been in a coven. So, I don't know.
That is really, kudos to you. That is really impressive.
We just blessed by the goddess. That's the only thing I can tell you.
Yeah,
that's great.
So, but anyway,
what's the name of your first book?
The first book is The Foundations of Witchcraft, Science and Self. It's about working on yourself, because it's really important to work on yourself first before you start doing any kind of witchcraft, any kind of practice, any kind of spiritual beliefs. You have to love yourself, and you have to work on those shadows too and everything. Yeah. And then the second book would be The Art of Knowledge, or Art of Knowing, where they would come into more doing different practices and everything. Mm-hmm. And then the third book will be, we don't have a name for it. No, we don't really have a name for it yet, but it's going to be The Art of Magic, something like that, where you go into rituals and everything, setups and all that. So it's taken a while. Everything's there in our Book of Shadows, but it's just finding the time.
Yep.
But I think the community book probably should come before anything else right now. So that's what we're working on.
Great.
So, yeah. But anyway, what do you have for our guest, sister?
I was curious to know which of your books challenged you the most to write.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that is a deep question. All of them have different challenges and different blessings, I would say. Evolutionary Witchcraft was my first published book, and I call it sometimes my kitchen sink book, and people would say, how long did it take you to write that? And I'd say, well, 2 years or 20. Take your pick, right? I really threw everything into that book, which I just came out with the 20th anniversary revised edition. And it was really fun going through that every single page and revising it for contemporary times. Mm-hmm. What is the most challenging? Yeah, I would just have to say they all have their challenges and their blessings, like the Witches of Portland series. I love that series. Some people have remarked that the most fantasy part of that series is how well the coven gets along.
I love it.
Which cracks me up. But it was interesting writing that series, because I was trying to write a fantasy series where the magic was real in the ways we would understand it. Mm-hmm. Right. It's not like Hollywood magic. It's not pyrotechnics. It's like, here's these practices. And yes, here's how it works in the world. And yes, here's how we call on the gods and the goddesses to help us when our community is in need. Right. And so that was challenging and rewarding both, to write about witches facing a lot of the same issues we face, and facing injustice together with magic and community. Mm-hmm. So trying to write it for a non-witch audience while still maintaining the integrity
Yeah.
of our magic. But it was also really rewarding. You know, I love that series. I love those 9 witches, and I love those characters. Also, it was a challenge to write a 9-book series. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I bet.
That's my longest series. But it was great, you know, and I'm glad I have it out there now.
I'm going to write it down so I can read it too. I'm interested in your was the one the Seashell Cove Paranormal Mystery series.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now that I so talk about challenging versus not challenging. I had been writing the Steel Clan Saga, which is more epic fantasy, multiple points of view, and I just needed a break, right? I was having a health crisis. We were in the main COVID lockdowns, right? And so Seashell Cove, I took a break from the epic fantasy and started writing this bonkers paranormal cozy mystery series.
I love it.
And it was so much fun. And it holds the same elements as all my books, which is community working together for good, you know, for justice. And there's magic in it, right? All my books have to have all of that. And that series is just a joy to write. It's so fun. It's pure subconscious. The characters are just like, we're going to do this. And now there's centaurs in the forest. And now, you know, I'm like, okay, there's centaurs. What are they doing? Let's go find out. Right.
Right.
Oh,
exactly.
and there's ghouls, and there's a haunted hotel. And what are the ghosts doing? The ghosts are in an uproar, right? Or the Fae. What's happening with the Fae? So it's just this wacky magical town with a witch and her mouthy cat. And
I love it.
Both the witch and the cat their names come from Stevie Nicks songs, right?
I love it.
The witch is Sarah, and her cat is Rhiannon.
I love it.
Yeah, and the bookshop is always playing Lorena McKennitt, you know, and
oh my God, how
so
awesome.
it's just like an author friend of mine talks about reader cookies, right? And these I just put all my cookies into that series.
I love it. Well, that's what I'm going to be reading when I go out of town for 13 days at the end of June.
Great. Yeah. So Bookshop Witch.
You would love them, because Medium Red, she's also a paranormal. She helps out 2 teams in Arizona. And so it'd be really up her alley.
Yeah, exactly. Truly. Yeah, I know. I know. That's why I looked at that. I'm like, oh, I got to read that. That's my books.
They are truly bonkers. Like, they're just wild. I called them paranormal cozy mysteries for freaks and geeks, right?
That's awesome. That's perfect. I'm looking forward to it. But my author friend is like you. She actually will outline everything out, but yet the subconscious will, you know, put the subconscious that she puts together into the fantasy world is just amazing to me. And to see how her mind works, you know, and she'll send clips of it through Messenger through me and another friend of mine, and it's awesome to like see, and we'll help her build upon it, you know, kind of like a writing, you know, group like you were talking about too.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to, well, and we could have, you know, the dragon come now and slay, you know, it's awesome.
That sounds great.
Exactly.
Is that series out yet?
She just did, she's got it on the back burner. She just did Love of a Samurai, which she was really excited about, hit #1 for her. So her name is Beth A. Freely, and she's out of New Mexico. So nice. Incredible writer. So yeah.
Good.
I know
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I love writing magical fiction and magical nonfiction because I can talk about magic in different ways, right? And the thing about magical fiction is it taps a more primal part of ourselves, and I don't have to prove anything to you.
Right.
Because it's fiction.
Right. Exactly. Correct.
But I'm still teaching the same things, right?
You're weaving the teachings and the ritual traditions, etc., all into it at the same time. So fiction, nonfiction kind of combined together. Yeah, I love it. That's incredible. Beautiful.
You have written so many books.
Yes, I have.
I mean, I have read quite a few. I by Earth, Flame, and
That's
Air.
the Witches of Portland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I read that one. I think that was the first book I read. Then I went on to the other ones. Because once you read that, he's like, oh, you realize there's more. He's like, oh,
yeah,
the rest of them. But I mean, where do you? I mean, your mind is just so amazing. I mean, so incredible. Where do you come up with some of these books? You just about that.
I have more ideas than I could ever write. I have more ideas than I have time to write. My brain is I'm always making connections and thinking of things. And I read an article about this or hear a song or I'm on a walk and encounter something. I'm just, I mean, I have a whole new series I want to write called The Broken Magic Club. And I'm like, when am I going to get to the Broken Magic Club?
Oh my God, that'd be interesting. Oh, that's a cool one.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to be able to work on that for over the next 6 months. I'm hoping to make space for that. Because it's now itching, like it's like pounding at my door, these characters. And so, I always have ideas, and I'm, possibly working on another nonfiction book with a co-author. We're just talking about it. We're in the very early stages. Who knows what or when that will happen. But, I cannot stop the ideas. That's just how my brain is wired,
Do you
I get it.
When you go to sleep at night, is your mind asleep too, or does it just keep moving on?
My mind is, I often have very active. Sometimes I say I'm not well rested because I lived a whole other life in my sleep. Like I was doing all kinds of things with strange people, and I can't even explain what we were doing, but we were doing things.
Yep.
And I'm one of those people that my brain does have trouble winding down, so I will often bookend my days with meditation or centering practice, even in the evening, if it's just slowing myself down and centering for 5 minutes, that helps. And also, bless my sleep gummies because they save my life. Because otherwise what happens is I start to fall asleep, and then as soon as my brain relaxes, and it wakes me up again.
It fires back up again. Mine does the same thing.
So the sleep gummies keep me down, which is, I am grateful for that medicine.
Yeah. I have to do the same thing. My mind never shuts off. It's always spinning. It's always got some new idea, something that I'm going to be working on. And, it's like I have to meditate. I meditate before I go to bed, and I take my sleep gummy, and it's a perfect combination out.
Yeah. Meditation practice helps a lot. And I resisted sitting practice and meditation for years until finally one of my teachers just said, you just have to sit.
Yes.
And that's instructive too, right? Because you have to bear your discomfort until you acclimate to it. But it's very instructive, but it also really helps me because now I can just drop into center when I need to, because I've practiced for so many years.
It makes a huge difference. Yeah.
It does really help out, because I have to keep a notebook by my bed, not just for my dreams, but just for my thoughts. I'll be say, I should write a book about my dog, for kids or something. I write it down, or
that's great.
We should have this podcast here, write it down so I won't forget, because my other half of my brain, meaning Red, is clear across the country, so I can't tell her late at night. Well, maybe I can't. Can I call you at 3:00 in the morning and say, hey, sis?
Go for it. Because if it's 3:00 your time, that means it's only 1:00 my
1
time.
o'clock your
So
time,
see,
yeah.
that's perfect. Yeah.
I think Tim might say, okay, you guys, enough is enough now. But
So
no,
you also have a lot of ideas, Chrissy.
I
You
do.
asked me, but clearly
I do. I do. My mind, even my husband would tell you, he would wake up, he was snoring. All of a sudden, he would just wake up. He's like, go to sleep. I go, I am. And he goes, no, you're not. You're writing something or you're looking at something. And I was like, okay. So I put the phone down, put my tablet down. And then later on, 2 hours later, did you even sleep? Oh, yeah. I just got up.
yeah, well, if I were your teacher, which I'm not, I would say keep the devices away from your bed.
Yes. Yes.
Which is hard for most of us.
It is
It's
hard.
very hard.
It's very difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just with 4 kids and 11 grandchildren.
Oh my gosh.
I want, and my coven members stuff, I want to make sure that I'm there for them night and day. I know they have, I have boundaries. They know I have boundaries, but still there might be that one moment where they need someone to talk to. And I want to be that person that they can reach out to. So yeah, if my phone dings, I'm looking at it. Bad habit, but I'm just that type of person. So, but anyway, was there a defining moment that changed your understanding of spirituality?
Well, the first was that moment I shared at around age 6 or 7 when I was surrounded by light.
Mm-hmm.
And that light stayed with me and protected me. I mean, that was my main formative experience. And then, yeah, there was another moment. I was teaching at a witch camp, and it was after ritual. It was in Missouri in the summer.
Yeah.
And I know, talk about hot and sticky.
Yeah, exactly.
It was beautiful though. It was in the Ozarks. It's just gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
I was walking by myself after ritual back towards, there was a main barn where we would gather. Mm-hmm. And, there were fireflies in the fields, and the road was lit by torches. And so I was in the darkness in between 2 torches. And I said, and everyone had all these amazing heart opening experiences at this ritual and big epiphanies. And, I'd been talking to people after ritual and helping people. And I was walking down the road and I said, Goddess, where's my epiphany? Why don't I get epiphanies anymore? Mm-hmm. And the message was loud and clear that what I was doing now was just walking the path. Yeah. Right. Wow. I didn't need the huge, because we want that emotionally and psychologically, right? Mm-hmm. Those giant moments. And it was like, no, what you're doing now is what you're doing now. You're walking the path. And I realized later, it's because I had integrated so much of the magic, right? So I had normalized it.
Right.
I was still having the same experiences, but they no longer felt special because they were no longer ruptures, breaks from reality. They were my reality.
Right.
Right. Walking the magical path just became walking the magical path. So that was, I think, the second really defining shift. And, that brings me back to the pentacle of autonomy, which starts with commitment, right? So when you're no longer getting the huge dopamine or serotonin rush, what's your relationship to your commitment then?
Right.
True. Very true.
It talks about passion too, which will kind of tie back into your passion.
Yeah, long-term passion is very different from fresh passion.
Correct. Yeah.
Whether that's with you're getting a higher degree, you have a committed partnership, you're in a coven, your work, writing a novel series, right? The ooh shiny thing exists for a reason, and it's because the rush of that initial, it's not even really passion, because passion, I think, requires that engagement, but it feels like passion to us. But it's more akin to lust,
Right. Yeah.
Even though though it's not necessarily in a sexual context.
Right.
Right.
So that was my huge second epiphany. Thanks so much for asking that question. It was great to really think about that.
It was prophetic too. That's incredible.
There's a lot of times that you kind of just have, I don't know, the gods just pop things in your face, and it kind of defines everything, something new that you realize, or something that you've forgotten. And it's just a very great feeling, butterfly feeling, happiness, it's like seeing a fairy for the first time. You're like, oh, there's a fairy, yeah. And I like asking that question because there's a lot of times that we might forget about those moments, and it brings us back, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember that time. Makes us happy.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can say. It makes us happy. I know when we first started our coven, we didn't want a coven. We was like, no, we never been in a coven before. We like a solitary practice with our kids.
Right.
It was thrown in our face by the gods. She just had everybody just come to us and say, hey, we want to learn. And we started teaching, and then before we know it, we had like 16 people there. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And somebody says, let's start a coven. We meditated. She whispered, coven to bless the lady, because you guys are blessed with each other, because I bless you. And it's just, I started crying because it's like, this is the name, and I just agree. And so we just been like that for over 30 years, 35, and had 2 sister covens. Well, we had more, but things happen. So, and I love the coven life much better than I do the solitary life.
Yeah.
So I think because you help support each other on your path, and that helps a lot. It's kind of like being a high priestess, like being a mom and dad, to everybody. So, but anyway,
what a gift. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
it was. And that's how our book would start out. But when we did the community book, because a lot of people always ask, how long your coven's been, how did you come up with the name and everything. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to answer this in one book, and that's it. So with the time being close to the end, I want you to plug yourself in, because I know you have a lot going on, and you down below, you have your Facebook, your Patreon, your YouTube, everything. Please look at the bottom of the screen for the audience and go to her sites, her Facebook, follow her. And what else are you doing?
Well, I love it when people order my books from the library. That always thrills me and helps me. You can also get books directly from me at thorncoilebooks.com. And what else? I teach at various conferences. I'm not really doing much regular teaching anymore. I'm taking a break from that. But I'll be at Spirit Northwest next year, and at Sacred Space on the East Coast next year. So I'm looking forward to those. And I have 2 Kickstarters coming up. One is the Fernie Bray, which is the Thomas the Rhymer Elf Queen book. So that'll be in July. And then I'm really excited. I haven't actually announced this yet. In my Patreon this year, one of the things I've been doing is a spell of the month. So I do a 2-part spell, and they build month to month. And I realized, wow, wouldn't it be cool to take that and expand on it and send it to people in the mail, to get
Wow.
snail mail.
I would love that.
Right? So
Yes.
you'll get, every month you'll get the spell in the mail with an art card, with a journal prompt, the spell and all the instructions on working the spell. I'll do an audio link of me leading a meditation, and then I'll throw in like stickers and other fun stuff. But I thought there's so much that feels ephemeral in the world right now. And what would it be like? What kind of magic would it be to open the mailbox and there's something you want?
True.
And you can brew a cup of tea,
Yeah.
open it, sit,
Mhm.
and then, let the spell work with the spell over the course of the month. And then the next month, another spell will arrive, right?
That's genius.
So
That is-
that'll be launched on Kickstarter in October.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are my kind of two big projects I've got right now. But I love my Patreon. The people in my Patreon are awesome. So we do spell of the month. I'll often give short stories or poems or other things I'm pondering. And we do a monthly creativity hangout on Zoom, where people can bring any creative project and work on it together. And then we chat in between sessions. It's really fun. So I do a lot on Patreon. I also recommend people join my newsletter, which you can get to from either Thorn Coyle Books or thorncoyle.com. And I send out a weekly musing of just something I'm pondering in the world. And then at the bottom, I'll give like an announcement if I have a new book out or a project I'm offering, working on. So yeah, I encourage people to join my newsletter, get my books at the library, or get them from me, or order them from your favorite retailer, of course. I think that's all the news I have right now.
That's a lot. I mean, and the spell of the month, that is just remarkable. I mean, yes, I have to join that. Because I know a lot of people when I say things or do things, they says, well, I already know that, I want something different. But the thing is, do we know it all? No,
we don't.
And it's nice.
It's the thing I said about revisiting the elements, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's such richness there.
Yeah, that's true. And even and at my age,
Uh-oh. Your sound just cut out.
Oh, I'm okay.
Are you there, Chrissy? Can you hear?
Yeah.
Can you hear each other? Because now I can't hear either. Okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
My sound cut out.
It's the universe.
I can't hear either of you now.
Oh no.
I don't know what just happened.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
And I can't get into settings. Well,
You.
That's okay. I'm going to type in the private chat. So hang on.
I guess the tech gods are
Correct.
messing with me.
Yeah, me too. That sucks.
Okay.
And yeah. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Well,
no, still can't. I don't think.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome.
Many blessings to you both, and many blessings to everyone watching or listening. This has been an awesome conversation. You're both really interesting, and I wish you all the magic you desire.
Okay. You too. So we are going to end since we have technical difficulties, but it's our podcast. It wouldn't be a podcast if it doesn't end like this. Everybody, I just want to say blessings to you. Happy Pride Month, since it's June 2nd. And Gay Pride, I should say. Yes, Gay Pride Month. My husband's like, Witch Pride. So, um, and we see everybody on Thursday when we talk to somebody from Hawaii about the paranormal stories. So stay with us and subscribe, like, and share out. Blessed be everybody.